Colorado State wins by 22, beating the Air Force Falcons 77-55. As we welcome you back inside Fluent Arena, Justin Adams and Brian German. And this is one of those games where Joe Scott is going to be very frustrated when he looks at the film. He said at halftime that his team has to avoid making all the turnovers. They had only 7 turnovers at half. They end the game with 19 turnovers. Colorado State had 21 points off of those 19 turnovers. That was really the difference in this ball game. Oh,
it certainly was, and it was the difference in that ball game up at Fort Collins, and that's the difference in every ball game, it seems like, so far this season for Air Force. When they're turning the ball over, they're not taking care of it. The other teams, these are good quality basketball teams with quality basketball players. They turn turnovers into points, and that equals a loss for Air Force.
And that's the story that we saw in the second half, especially Kyan Evans, who had 20 points. He was just impressive all evening long.
Yeah, he only had 2 points in the first half. Man, he could juke a jive out there, and he can move. And the Falcons just didn't have an answer for him in the second half. But here's some of those turnovers. A lazy pass right there by Ethan Taylor leads to an easy bucket by Williams, and then a tough play right there by Chase Beasley. Get it out on the run. There's some of that movement there by Evans. And just CSU, the 2 players we talked about that really got it done tonight was Lake and Evans. Jalen Lake did a great job as well. Both of them are great from shooting outside, but tonight they really just found baskets every which way, Justin.
Yeah, also don't forget about Jalen Crocker-Johnson. He had 13 points, also had 4 rebounds. He was dominant in the paint area, but it was all about Mr. Evans, and he was just having his way with the Falcons, and he spot up for deep. He was 2 of 6 from downtown into the game with the game high 20 points. And as we look at the final statistics, you can look at the field goal percentage. That's one thing. Rebounds, you were out-rebounded by 10, and those 19 turnovers, you can't have that if you expect to win.
Yeah, it actually comes down to that. I mean, I hate to harp on this, but we've been talking about it all night long. Joe mentioned it at the half, and we talk about it in the second half. And for the Falcons, they've got to understand that, these young players. And, you know, there's some discombobulation going on right now because, you know, Kyle Marshall is out of the lineup. He's been sick. He didn't even play tonight. He did warm up with the team, but hopefully in the future he'll get back out on there, the outstanding freshman for Air Force. But, man, you got to learn, and sometimes you got to learn by experience.
Yeah, and that's one of the ways that you have to do so. Unfortunately, that happens in the loss. The only bright spot that I could think of for Air Force is Will Cooper continuing his strong play the last couple of games. He ended this one with 11 points, had 21 against Fresno State. You can start to see the bright lights start to come on for that young man.
Absolutely. The more Will Cooper plays, the more comfortable he gets out there. And I think Caleb Walker tonight. Yeah. The unfortunate thing with the 2-headed monster there for Air Force with Sella Husky and Walker, it continues that just one of them seems to have a good game. If they can continue to get better and better and have a good game together, I think that'll bode well for the Falcons.
Well, it was a win on the road for the Colorado State Rams as they were able to defeat the Air Force Falcons 77-55. And with the win, Colorado State improves to 19-5 and 13-4 in conference play. The Falcons fall to 4-23, 1-16 in the Mountain West. We'll be back on March 4th at 1 p.m. when the women's basketball team takes on Boise State, as this has been a presentation of Altitude Sports and Entertainment, your home for the Air Force Falcons. For myself, Justin Adams, and Brian German, and the entire crew, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you all season long on Altitude Sports and Entertainment.